My name is Mitchell King, and this is my research on social media marketing. Social media marketing is a common practice among businesses and has become an important part for the business place. Businesses try to gather as much data as possible, and they will pay to do so. This is where social media comes into play. Everything you search online can be stored as a cookie, and with this, they can target specific ads, marketing tactics, or merchandise based off your search history. This research is important to see how many students actually know about social media marketing and how companies gather data on them. Students that are active on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are the ones the researcher will be focused on. Current literature simply talks about the tactics and the use of social media marketing. However, it doesn't ask the opinions or feelings of the consumers and how they feel about their search history and the fact that it might be monitored and used for future marketing purposes. The purpose of this study is to examine students' attitudes towards social media marketing and how companies gather data on them via cookies and browser history. In relation to the larger picture, this study is exploring into how college students feel about businesses being able to gather data on their search history and market to them based off of that. There are many studies of the practice of it and how businesses use them. However, there aren't many studies on how people feel or even if they know about it. This study will focus on how many students actually know that this is going on and how they feel about it. This study will also get into the ethics of marketing practice and seeing if students are okay with the methods of data collection. It is assumed that majority of college students have a basic knowledge or understanding of business. It is also assumed that students will answer as correctly and honestly as they possibly can. It is also assumed that all college students use social media. Some of the limitations that the researcher faced were as followed. Time. In order to conserve time, some of the questions had to be shortened to gather as much data as possible. Location was also another factor, as it was an online form with Google Forms. Some other limitations do include resources and populations. Some of the definitions that need to be known are as follows. Cookies. Cookies are an online data that is stored when the user goes on a specific website. That code is entered into the database of the web browser, then it interacts with future pages via ads. Social media. While there are many multiple different social medias, there are three referenced in this argument: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. College students. There will be ages 18 to 24 attending ASU full time. Social media marketing. Any marketing that takes place via three social medias defined earlier. The purpose of the study is to examine students' feelings towards social media marketing and how they gather all kinds of data on them. The researcher randomly chose college students who were coming full-time between the ages of 18 and 24. The participants of the study were both male and female to get a diversity of age. To gather the data that was needed for this study, the researcher decided to use Google Forms. The majority of the questions that were asked were in the yes or no format. Some of the questions were specific or had a neither or other section. In conclusion, this study is to see how many students know about social media marketing strategies and how they feel about this. To see if this is ethically right or wrong of marketers to do and if there should be any action taken to protect and stop marketers from gathering data via browser history and cookies. For the first question, I wanted to see how comfortable people were with companies marketing specifically to them over social media. 66% said it was okay. In the second question, I wanted to see how many people actually knew about internet cookies and how they worked, and only 58% knew. In the third question, I wanted to see how many people were aware that companies were collecting data based off of the browser history and cookies. In this fourth question, I wanted to ask, would you be okay with companies personalizing their message specifically to you? And this is where students actually showed that it was about a 50-50 in terms of what they thought. In this fifth question, do you feel companies should ask before gathering data on you via social media? Over 66% of the students actually said that they would have liked to have some sort of permission or somehow asked about it before they actually started collecting the data. This is interesting as the vast majority, 66%, said it was okay and they were comfortable with the fact that they were being marketed over social media. However, in this study, in the fifth question, it shows that 66% would actually like them to ask permission before collecting that data for the social media before this happened. In the sixth question, we wanted to dive into, do you prefer personal ads or general ads? 41% said that they actually prefer to have personalized ads on their social media, while only 30% said that they would like general ads, and over 28% said they would like neither to be actually on their social media. Then we wanted to take a look if people have actually noticed that when they're searching for an item or a phrase, it pops up on their social media. Over 56% said they actually noticed it, while 20% said they didn't see it, and also 22% said they did not know about it. For the demographic questions, we had around 52% males, 41% there were females, and as you can see, there were the other option and prefer not to answer. As you can see in this graph, there was actually a lot of different majors. While the majority of the majors were business, general education, and marketing. In this graph, you can see the ages and how many of them there were. The average age was 22 years old. What I learned from this survey is that the majority of the students knew a lot more about social media marketing and were more comfortable with it than I originally thought. Something that also surprised me was the fact that students were okay with the fact that they were being marketed to, and they actually preferred the fact that they were personalized. However, they wanted to be asked permission when collecting data on them rather than them just doing so. They felt a sense of uncomfortability. They didn't want that to be something that was going on. Something else that surprised me was the fact that the majority of students actually did know about the fact that companies were using cookies to collect data and target specific ads towards them, which originally I thought the majority of students wouldn't. For me, what I hypothesized was that would people would be more against personalized ads. They'd be not okay with personalized ads or when social media markets specifically to them. However, it does look, if you look at the results, that people are okay with it. They would just like to be asked about it in terms of the data being collected on them. But when a company does a personal ad on them, it seems perfectly okay.